So, another game room tour video in 2026. Original, right, but I wanted to do this video for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's always a good time to do a game room tour at the start of the new year, so what's another video in your algorithm feed, so hopefully you enjoy it. And number two, over the course of 2026, I'm going to be making some massive changes to the entirety of this room. From top to bottom, this entire room is going to change how it looks, how it feels, the layout, everything in this room pretty much. So I want to do this right now because over the next few weeks, we're going to do some big changes, probably the biggest changes we've done since we put the CRT in this room. So I want to just capture how it looks now and how it's going to change and evolve over 2026. So I'm going to go from left to right, go around the entirety of this room, go through everything pretty much in my collection, how I collect. I haven't got the biggest collection. My collection is slimmed down. It's a curated collection. I could slim it down even more, which we will be doing over the course of this year, but I'm really happy with what I've built over the course of the last 10 years of me being a video game collector. And over that time, my tastes have changed, what I enjoy has changed, and pretty much everything in this room are things that bring me joy, things I either want to play, things I played in the past, or any figures or things that are outside of gaming are things that I love, franchises I love. So hopefully it gives you a different perspective in terms of how different game rooms can look, and everything in this room is function over form. Everything is used to its fullest purpose. So yeah, let's go around the room and take a look. Starting with the door, I've just got some stickers, pins, badges, and a cool door sign. Nothing too crazy, just frames the door, pretty cool. Then we get to my 55-inch TCL TV. This is a box standard 4K TV. It cost me about £300. It's nothing crazy. It's got fairly basic specs and functionality. It gets the job done. I play all of my HDMI consoles in there. It's not the best TV, but it works. Then, just framing the TV, I've got these cool Nintendo Switch posters. Nothing that I particularly love. It just looks better than looking at a blank white wall, so that's pretty cool. And then all of my consoles are sitting on top of or inside this Kallax unit. So all of my consoles are housed inside this Kallax unit, and for the money, I don't think you can find many better entertainment system setups than the Kallax unit. And you'll also notice that on my Kallax unit, I've got these dividers that allow you to essentially split the box in half so that you can divide it. And the two big boys here, the PS5 and the fat PS3, are just too big, so they're on top of the Kallax unit. And then you can also get drawers to just add more storage to the Kallax unit. So there's a lot of flexibility you can do with these. And for £40–50, closer to £100 by the time you add the dividers in and the shelving units and the drawers, it's a pretty cool system. And currently I've got the PS3 hooked up and the PS5 all running through my HDMI switch. If you've seen the last few videos, you know the rigmarole I've gone through to try and get my Elgato capture card all hooked up, so that's all running fine. And I haven't got any of the other consoles hooked up, but I can hook them up no problem. So we've got a backwards compatible PS3. This is the only model that's backwards compatible with PlayStation 2 games. The big version router known as the PS5, PS3 Super Slim, PS4 the Star Wars edition. I'm not even a Star Wars fan, it's just the only version they had when I bought it back in 2015. I've also got two Darth Vader Star Wars controllers, so yeah, it looks cool, but I don't really care for Star Wars. Xbox 360 Slim, Xbox One X. I don't have a Xbox Series X or S console, just no games on there that tickle my fancy. My HDMI switch to branch out one HDMI cable from the TV and split it out into multiple. The Wii U, which hardly ever gets used, a switch dock, and then behind there you'll see the HDMI splitter there. And then all of my handheld devices, so Steam Deck, Switch OLED, Switch Lite, and my PlayStation Portal, phone and laptop. And then we go over to the retro side of the Kallax unit. So one of the biggest changes we made to this room last year was adding in this massive 28-inch Panasonic CRT, and this entire Kallax unit. So originally my Kallax unit was more to the center. You can probably see the gun holes in the wall still left there, but I always wanted a CRT to play pre-HD consoles, and getting this into the room was, man, it was an ordeal. This thing is heavy AF. Gotta be at least 50 kilos, if not heavier, and to get this into the room and to get it supported on the Kallax unit, what we did, we had to get this support beam going across the bottom. I've got a piece of wood underneath there to hold it up. I could paint it, make it look better, but it gets the job done. And then hooked up to this amazing CRT TV is a Dreamcast, a Super Nintendo, and then I've got a PlayStation 2 and a GameCube just there. They're not hooked up to anything, but for me, retro consoles need to be played on a CRT. They look incredible, and even if you haven't got the space or the size or the want for a big CRT like this, then go like a small Sony Trinitron tube TV, like 15 inches. Just the colors, the scan lines, they just feel so authentic and they look so vibrant and colorful. And for me, I love playing retro consoles this way. You can go the upscale route, you can go the retro tink route. Maybe if you haven't got the space, then go that route. But if you have got the space and the money for CRT, then there's no better way than experiencing retro consoles through a big fat boy like this. So the Dreamcast and the Super Nintendo are all hooked up to a SCART adapter here. All of my consoles are running from SCART. Essentially, this just takes one SCART from the TV into this, and then again, similar to a HDMI switch, it just splits out into multiple SCART cables. So do that, and then the picture appears on the TV. Pretty cool. Currently playing Terranigma on the Super Nintendo, or that was the last game I was playing on the Super Nintendo. Down there, we've just got an ottoman, a footstool. I just keep camera equipment and lighting, nothing too exciting, but I've got some pretty cool plushes. So I've got Monokuma from Danganronpa, the iconic cactus from Final Fantasy. I don't know who she is, but she's also from Danganronpa. Then we got Gunther from Animal Crossing, I think he's called. Someone roast me in the comments if I got that wrong. And then just some plain old blinds. But now let's go to where all the money is made, where the business takes place, my desk setup. So this other room is where all the business happens. This is where I work for my day job, so I'm quite lucky in that I work in IT, so I can work from home, and everything here is on a FlexiSpot standing desk. I then got an IKEA countertop, and then powering the whole thing is either my work MacBook or my personal MacBook, which has got a M2, 8 gig of RAM and a 256 gigabyte SSD. Nothing too crazy, but it gets the job done, and all of that goes through my Anker Thunderbolt dock, and that allows me to power my LG 35-inch monitor, my speakers, my webcam, my mouse, my keyboard, everything powered through that dock. Then one cable goes from the dock to my laptop, and it even charges the laptop. And then this chair I'm sat on is a very, very ergonomic office chair. I'm not a big fan of those racer style chairs. I bought this about 8-9 years ago from a local business in the area, and it's been rock solid, had no issues with it. My back is sound, everything is just rock solid, and the biggest investment you can do in your desk setup if you do work from home is a chair. If you haven't got a good chair, you're gonna have serious back problems. So yeah, get a good office chair and you'll be all good. But this is a pretty cool setup. I can go up and down. If I'm being honest, I don't really use the standing functionality on my desk to warrant having a standing desk, but it's there if I do need it. I've also got power underneath there. So it's a great place to work, to play, to do video editing. I love this setup, and I love having a big 35-inch monitor. This photo is a Vivi from Final Fantasy VIII. I think my partner just looked up any sort of photo or painting from Final Fantasy on Etsy. It's a beautiful painting. I haven't actually played Final Fantasy VIII, so I do need to play it, but when I'm working and I'm in a boring meeting, I do look up and just reminisce about that beautiful art. It does help having that and that to look at when you sat in a boring meeting for 2 hours just going through Jiras. It does definitely help. With this being a 21:9 aspect ratio, you can get so much done. This is 3440 by 1440p, so not the best for gaming, but for productivity, for coding, spreadsheets, editing, scrubbing through your timeline on DaVinci Resolve, this is excellent. And in the corner, I've just got a little cool poster about coding. If you code, then you know. Then I've got a Shure MV7 microphone on a tripod. I use that for all of my voiceovers. Pretty good quality microphone, but I don't think I get the best out of it with that cable. So maybe I need to use a XLR cable and a audio DAC, because it is quite quiet in Audacity. And then I've got these Amazon white speakers. They get the job done, nothing too crazy. They do get pretty loud. And then all of my backups are on this tiny 4TB SSD. It just blows my mind that so much space is in a tiny footprint here. Then my keyboard is a Keychron keyboard. I think it's a K2 or K7. It's a 60% keyboard, so you don't have all the function keys, and then everything is condensed, just keeps it nice and tight. Probably the best find of the entire 2025 car boot season was this Logitech MX Master 3S mouse. I found this for £3 at the car boot last year, and I've had to charge it probably 2 or 3 times. It's so good. It's got a side scroll wheel, a infinite scroll wheel on the top, and it feels so ergonomic and comfortable in the hand. Again, a must if you do a lot of spreadsheets, coding, just a lot of scrolling, so love that. And then go into this corner of the game collection where it all starts. So these are some floating shelves from IKEA. It just houses my lighting, some collector's editions, bigger boxes. Definitely my favorite is Catherine. I love this game so much, and I just love the pink box on this. It's so beautiful, and who doesn't love seeing a blonde, blue-eyed woman when you're working? Yeah, awesome stuff. Then down here, I've got Kratos from the God of War Ascension collector's edition. Pretty cool. Haven't played the game, but looks neat. Kingdom Hearts Funko Pops. And then down here, I've got Enslaved Odyssey to the West. Again, an excellent game. Undertale collector's edition, and then a Morgana light up thing from Persona. And then this is probably the side of the room you're most familiar with. Let's go through everything on these Billy bookcases. So starting from top to bottom, I've got my beloved Trails up there. So anyone who doesn't know, this is the Legend of Heroes, the Trail series. It's an ongoing JRPG series that spans all the way back to 2004 with Trails in the Sky, which we actually got a remake for in 2025. This is probably the biggest thing you can undertake within all of gaming. You're talking 13 and counting JRPGs. We're about 80–90% of the way through the story, so we've probably got another 3 or 4 games left. I just love this series. I'm currently on Cold Steel 2. We hit a bit of a snagging point last year with that game, so I need to pick it back up hopefully this year. But these are all of the special editions for each of the games. Some of these are Japanese exclusive that I picked up over the years. I got into this series back in 2022, and from then it was just love at first sight. And having these just frame the top of my Billy bookcases looks so cool. I just love looking at all the colours, the amazing character art. It's just excellent, and probably my favourite piece in this entire collection is my Trials in the Sky PSP game. This is actually sealed, and this comes with the postcards, the CD soundtrack, the game, and it's in real nice condition. I got this for a bargain. I got this for probably £50–60 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah, absolute amazing piece in my Trials collection. Then going to the Dreamcast, which is one of the newest consoles I collect for. I do really enjoy playing the Dreamcast. I haven't played it since last year when my VMU got corrupted. If you haven't heard that story, my VMU got corrupted, so I lost all of my save data for Blue Stinger, Jet Set Radio, and it broke me physically and mentally, so I haven't gone back since. But this year, I do really want to play Skies of Arcadia. Looks like an awesome JRPG, so that is on the backlog and quite high up on the list. Then from there, PlayStation 1, again, mainly JRPGs. Some survival horror games. Never had a PS1 growing up, so I don't have a ton of nostalgia, so it's just games that look interesting. Then PS2, again, I think it's a console a lot of people romanticize, but going back and playing some of these games, they don't feel the best. So again, it's just mainly JRPGs, games I had growing up, survival horror games. Last year, I wanted to collect all of the main survival horror games on the PlayStation 2, and I did a pretty good job. I got a lot of the big hitters like Silent Hill Shattered Memories, Silent Hill Origins. We got all the obscure games. Then going down to the PS3 collection, I love the PS3 so much. I say it all the time, but my favorite console of all time. And again, a big focus for me last year was to bulk out this collection and get some of the big hitters like Blaze of Time, Dynasty Warriors, and then this year I've started to slim down some of the filler, some of the crap, and I just want all of the big hitters, the games that I had as a kid, and just the games I see myself playing. I don't need to collect everything. Then we go to PlayStation 4, again, a console I really enjoy collecting for. I did have a lot more PS4 games, but I have started to thin it out just because there's just so many games on the PS4. I just don't have the time to play them all. But for my money, probably the best console you can collect for in 2026 and going forward. The games are as cheap as they're probably going to get, and with the library being so vast, there's so many games, there's so many different genres, there's definitely something for everyone on the PS4. It's a great console to collect for. Then PS5, which is crazy to think it's now 6 years old. I keep thinking the PS5 and the Xbox Series console generation is just starting, but 6 years old is mental. And I don't have the biggest collection. Like I've always said, modern games, I wait 3-4 years for them to come down in price. There's no point paying £80, £70 for a brand new game just to have it sit on the shelf, literally gathering dust or being sat in a seal. So I only really buy games on the PS5 I see myself playing right now. If not, I just leave it and just wait until they come down in price. Then I've got a box PS Vita. Last year I sold my entire PS Vita collection because it wasn't a console I ever played. I hardly ever put a game into the console. I mainly bought it for Persona 4. I played it, loved it. I then played Persona 4 Dancing All Night, again, played it, loved it. And apart from that, everything else on the PS Vita, like Danganronpa, Besaid, they'd all been ported over to more accessible consoles for me, so I made the decision to move it all on. Then this is a pretty cool find. This Last of Us canvas set I actually got from a car boot. It doesn't have the controller skin, the sticker, but it has everything else. So it has the game, obviously the canvas, the comic book. So for £3, an absolute bargain and a nice piece in the collection. Then we've got my Pennywise tube duck. So you see a couple of these ducks around the room. I think they look so cool. They're made by a company called Numbskulls, and these little ducks, they do different characters from different games, films. I think they look a lot cooler than pop vinyls and Funko Pops, so I got quite a few of those in the collection. And then down here I've just got PS4 and PS3 cardboard sleeves, steelbooks, special editions, that kind of thing. And then down here some more, and then down there just a couple of PS5 steelbooks and cardboard sleeves. Then we go to the corner piece. So this entire Billy bookcase comes as one piece that you connect together. So you can buy this as a set. So you get that piece, the bigger normal Billy bookcase, a smaller Billy bookcase that you can put in the corner, that Billy bookcase there, and that one there. So I think it cost about £400, and it all connects together to create a cool like arc shape. You do lose a decent amount of space in that corner, but it does frame the room very nicely. But going into the corner, I've got some more special editions. So we've got some Persona stuff and Shin Megami Tensei. My beloved Final Fantasy X. That is my favourite Final Fantasy game. I just love it. Underrated Final Fantasy 13. Gets way too much hate. Super Metroid, the big box on the Super Nintendo. Some cool deluxe editions from Square Enix, from Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. I just love the simplicity of these. I love the matte finish, and I love the metallic silverness for the emblems and the logo. I just think so simple, but they pop so well on the shelves. Some Tales of special editions. So I've got Exilia, Symphonia and Exilia 2. Then we've got some more in Tales of Berseria and Tales of Zestiria. Then down there, tucked away, we've got some Fallout special editions, so Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 3. Got the bobblehead from the Fallout 3 special edition. And then just got some pops and a couple more ducks from Numbskulls. Then we get to my Persona section. So Persona is probably my favourite JRPG series and probably my favourite series within all of gaming. I just love the series so much. So up here I've got some real cool pieces. So my goal is to get all of the Persona games in my collection. I think I'm only missing Persona 1 on the PlayStation 1, but I've got pretty much all of the other ones. So I've got all of the main ones on PlayStation 2. We picked those up last year. I've also got some NTSC versions. I've got the 2 PS Vita games in Persona 4 Dancing All Night and Persona 4 Golden. I've then got some Japanese Persona games on the PSP. I've got Persona 3 Portable, the American edition for some reason. And I've also got Persona 3 Portable the special edition that we picked up from Burton CX last year. I've then got a sealed copy of Persona 1 on the PSP. This is a NTSC version. I then got Persona 3 Dancing in Moonlight and Persona 5 Dancing in Starlight. A couple of more special editions for Persona, and again, Catherine full body. That is my second version of this game. I love that game so much. You can't have enough copies of Catherine for me. Then we go down to my next favourite shelf in the games room, from the trail shelf over there to my Final Fantasy shelf. Again, up there with Persona as one of my favourite series of all time. I got these cool figures from Besaid Exchange on the way back from York. I believe these are from Bandai Namco, and they came out in 2001 around the launch of Final Fantasy X. Then behind that, we've got some Magic the Gathering. So Magic the Gathering did a collaboration with Final Fantasy this year, and I think it was the best, highest grossing collaboration in Magic the Gathering history. It went crazy. People were just scalping the living hell out of that series, and I didn't jump on the bandwagon, but I did get a couple of the core sets. So I got the Commander deck with my main boy Tidus on. I then got Cloud Amiibo. I then managed to get a Play Booster pack, and I have started to open some of these packs, but I'm doing it slowly because once I open all those packs, they're going to be gone. So every few weeks, I just crack a pack open. And then I've got some cool Final Fantasy VII figures here. So again, these are also from Bandai Namco, I believe. Again, from Kirby Sales and Exchange. I think this was on the way back from a different game hunt or a different location we went to, but these are really cool. So you can actually move the arms and the limbs around, and they also come with weapons and different accessories. Then behind those figures, we've got some more Final Fantasy trading cards. I know nothing about this trading card game. I just picked it up for Lightning, my main girl. Then way back there, I got a sealed Final Fantasy 14 board game. Shout out to James for giving me that. Again, I know nothing about it. He found it for 50p and sent it my way, so very kind of him. Then moving down, we go to my DS and 3DS collection. So this side of the shelves are mainly Nintendo. So DS, I've just got, again, JRPGs. I'm not a big fan of handheld gaming. I didn't have one growing up, so the only game I played on the DS is Chrono Trigger. Excellent game, but I don't really see this collection growing much, if at all. And then same with 3DS. Never had one growing up. I've only played a couple of games on there. It's a cool system. It's just handheld just isn't my thing. And then we go down to Super Nintendo. This is the newest collection in the games room. Got some big hitters again, just JRPGs. The staples. This is probably the most expensive game in my collection in Terranigma, and it's an absolute brilliant game. Haven't finished it, but I do want to go back to it and pick it back up because what I played of it, it was excellent. Go down to Switch, again, mainly first party, JRPGs, some weirder obscure games from Limited Run. Then again, a Wii and GameCube. I had a Wii before my PlayStation 3. I do have some fond memories of the Wii, but it's not a console that I really play just because it's a faff setting up the sensor, the remote, so I don't know if that collection's going to grow much. And then GameCube, again, never had one growing up. It was just an opportunity to explore the library. It's pretty cool, but I don't really enjoy playing it. The controller just isn't it for me. Then we go to one of the biggest shelves in this Billy bookcase. I just got Dreamcast here, to be fair. I may move the Dreamcast stuff from there to here just to have it with the Dreamcast stuff, but looks pretty cool. I've got a box Dreamcast, a couple of sealed accessories, VMU, the Rumble pack, and then another duck. I believe that's from Shenmue, so it makes sense to keep him in the Dreamcast collection. Then my very, very humble Xbox 360 collection. Like I said earlier, PS3 was my console for that generation. I did have a 360, but it isn't a console I really play. It probably isn't a console I'm going to grow much beyond what I've got right now, just mainly JRPGs. First party games, nothing too crazy. Then going to the final Billy bookcase, I've got some more bigger Persona 5 and Persona 3 special editions. Then we go to another favourite of mine, the Witcher series. So I got into The Witcher back in 2014. I remember buying The Witcher 2 on a Steam sale for £3.74. Probably the best £3.74 I've ever spent in my life, because after playing that game, I went down a journey. I just went down a massive Witcher rabbit hole. I read all the books from Andrzej Sapkowski, and I just got absorbed and engrossed by the Witcher franchise. Obviously, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt came out in 2015. An excellent game, just an unreal game, and I just love collecting different bits from the franchise. So this is from the Witcher 3 Special Edition that came with this awesome statue. I love this game so much, and this statue, unfortunately, is a bit of damage here. One of the wings has fallen off, so we need to glue that back on, but so cool. I then got all of the books there. I have read all of them, as you can tell. Spines are pretty creased and dented on some of them, but they have gotten much love. I then got an awesome Geralt statue there playing Gwent. Then up here I've got all the games. So I've got the PC games for 1, 2 and 3. I then got some Gwent cards. I did try and get the missus into Gwent, but she couldn't get the rules, so haven't played that much. I then got some cool Funko Pops. I'm not a big guy when it comes to Funko Pops, but for Witcher I do allow it. Then shout out to Diego Damo for some of these comics, the book, and then Monopoly. We played this on New Year's Eve, and my God, how complicated is Monopoly? We didn't get the rules, so we just made up some rules and we had a good time, but let's just say there were a couple of arguments playing Monopoly. Then we go to my Mario shelf. I just love having things from the same franchise and same series. I'm not the biggest Mario guy, but I just love how everything looks uniform, and some of these items are pretty cool. So these little wooden toys here, my partner picked them up from a shop in Merry Hill. Obviously not official, but very cool. I then got the box for my Wii U, Star, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Booster Course Pass, cool little figures. Then that's the hat from Mario Odyssey. I think my partner got that as a pre-order bonus. Piranha Plant light, Piranha Plant Lego set, which was very, very hard to build. Shout out to Diego Damo for helping me with that one. Some more little figures there from the same business that sold those. And then this is a Lush Bath Bomb shower gel set. So I used the shower gel and just kept the box. Pretty cool. And then the final shelf is just a mismatch of Amiibos, Zelda stuff, Game Boy Lego set, some Zelda books. Again, I'm not the biggest Zelda fan, but I do love collecting things in the same franchise and same series. I've got some cool things. I've got a little Zelda music box. Don't know how it works, but it looks pretty cool. I've also got a ocarina from Ocarina of Time. I do believe you can play it and blast out some tunes, but no idea how to do it. I've got the Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Special Edition. I think Game was selling these for dirt cheap. I think I paid £50 for that, so absolute bargain. I've then got the Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Switch OLED. Beautiful console in white and gold. And then just some Amiibos from Xenoblade, Zelda, and I've also got the Super Mario Odyssey 3-pack Amiibo that my partner bought me back in the day. Then just along the bottom is just miscellaneous stuff like books and just stuff that I don't really want on show. But yeah, that's everything in my Billy bookcases. On the side of my Billy bookcase, I've got some cool photos and posters. So Crisis Core, some stickers from Shin Megami Tensei, and then these are pretty cool. These are some original PlayStation 1 postcards for, I don't know what the games are. I think they are quite rare from what Nick told me at Vintage Gamer, but I just like the look of them. Some very interesting cards from some anime, Amori, some more PlayStation 1 posters, and then just a Kingdom Hearts demo on the PlayStation 2. Just think it looks a bit better than looking at plain white on the side. Then up here, I've just got some ring lights to provide better lighting when I'm filming. It is a very dark room, even though everything is white. So I use these to just make myself look a bit better on camera. And I've got the cable from there running all the way across the top of that Billy bookcase, all the way out there, and then down into that plug down in that corner. So the chair that I sit on to play all of my games is also from FlexiSpot. This is the swivel recliner. Very expensive, but very, very comfortable. So I bought this in August last year and it's done me pretty well. So you can go back, you can recline. It's also got a 360 swivel, so you can rotate it. The only issue I've had with it is this drawer on the side is supposed to close. It's got like a little thing in there to make it close, but it doesn't close. So I'm currently in communication with FlexiSpot to get a new part sent out and get it sorted. But yeah, very comfortable, just very, very heavy. And it does take up a lot of space in the room, but it's definitely worth it in terms of comfort and just being able to rotate it when I'm filming, and just when I'm gaming I can kick back, relax and just enjoy all of my games. These also come in different colours, different finishes, so if you prefer green or leather maybe, then check it out. There's also a model that comes with a plug and a USB port plugged in, so if you need that then check it out. This is the basic version, but still very cool nonetheless. So that's my entire games room from top to bottom. Hopefully you enjoyed going into it in a bit more detail than I might have done in the past. I think I did a games room tour at the back end of 2024, so hopefully this one was better produced and just better all around in terms of editing and lighting and that kind of stuff. But really happy with what I managed to build in a decently sized bedroom. Nothing too crazy, but I think I've used the space and the layout pretty well. I could have done things slightly better, but overall really happy with the room. And the reason why I'm doing this now is because in the next few weeks I am making a massive change in this room, just because you probably noticed, but the desk that I bought a couple of weeks ago is no longer here. I just didn't think it gave me what I wanted in terms of that plug and play off the races setup that I was looking for in terms of YouTube and cameras. So I have decided to just move out of the room for now, but I think what I'm going to replace it with is even better. So over the next few videos, some big changes to the room and this entire layout, and I think it's going to just give us way more space and just make the room feel a bit more airy, because with the desk here and the chair here, it just felt a bit cramped and a bit claustrophobic, which isn't the vibe I'm going for. So yeah, hopefully you're looking forward to all that good stuff. But let me know down below what you think of my curated games collection. Let me know if you've got any questions about anything that I didn't go into in enough detail, and let me know what you've been doing to your games room. Let me know how you're collecting. And while you're down there in the comments, if you haven't done so already, smash the like button and subscribe to the Collector Quest channel for more game hunts, CX adventures and everything else about video game collecting. And as always, good luck on your game hunts and collecting adventures. Take it easy YouTube, and I'll catch you in the next one.